With the escalating violence, with these horrific atrocities that the junta has carried out, there can be no business as usual with this regime.
The execution of 4 democracy activists, Jimmy Jo-min Yu, Piu Zayadaw, Law Man Ong, and Ong Thea Zo, by Myanmar's military junta has received widespread international condemnation. The United States said Monday that all options were on the table as it considered its response. The 4 men were sentenced to death in closed-door trials in January and April. They were accused of carrying out terror acts against the army that seized power in a coup last year, which unleashed a bloody crackdown on its opponents. Self-exiled journalist Ong Nang So says the international community needs to take action.
Many people are frustrated on the action of the international community. It's just words, It's like, oh, we will do this, we worry, we did that, blah, 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 It's nothing in action, If there is anything in action, such kind of execution would not happen.
Amnesty International's Chiara San Giorgio said the executions were an enormous setback and called for increased efforts to put accountability mechanisms in place.
We have seen again and again through the developments and the appalling human rights record of the military authorities in Myanmar since February 2021, that the more space they're left with, the more they tend to escalate. And the death penalty, with the more than 100 death sentences being imposed by military tribunals in deeply unfair proceedings, is a clear example of what they are capable of, and of the fact that they're not going to stop there.
Tom Andrews is the UN Special Rapporteur on the human rights situation in Myanmar.
I am afraid that even more floodgates are now opening, and that there is even going to be less restraint on the part of the junta to continue its attacks on the people of Myanmar and to try to instill fear, even more fear in the population.
Andrews says that with 140 people on death row, the executions, Myanmar's first in decades, indicates that the junta intends to carry out those sentences. A spokesperson for the junta last month defended the death penalty, saying it was justified and used in many countries.
And honored that our motion to vacate Mr. Lopez's conviction and dismiss the indictment against him was granted a short time ago by Judge Biden. Today is an important moment, not just for the DA's office, but for Manhattan, New York City, and the entire criminal justice system. Many largely forgot that there were 6 who were falsely accused of rape of the Central Park jogger. Today, Mr. Lopez joined the other 5 who had their convictions vacated. What is so striking to me is how young Mr. Lopez was when both he was arrested and then when he pled guilty under extraordinary pressure. He was questioned in the middle of the night. He was implicated by unreliable forensic evidence and by statements. And as many of you will recall, he was up against incredible public scrutiny.
I don't think I could describe what this means to him. I think that what I would say is that, and I don't know how much he's comfortable with me saying, but I would say that I couldn't imagine having gone through this, and I think that he's, tremendously strong for having endured it. So I'm sure that he's feeling a range of emotions, but I'm hoping today, at the very least, vindicated.
More trouble for Elon Musk after the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission hit the Tesla CEO with another subpoena over the billionaire's tweets. Tesla disclosed on Monday that it had received a new subpoena related to, quote, compliance with an SEC settlement that required Musk's tweets to be vetted by Tesla's lawyers if they contained material information. That agreement followed SEC scrutiny over Musk's 2018 tweet that he had funding secured to take Tesla private. Since then, the SEC subpoenaed the electric car maker over a tweet from Musk that asked his Twitter followers whether he should sell 10% of his Tesla stake to cover tax bills on stock options. Tesla said on Monday it will cooperate with government authorities on the latest subpoena. The SEC declined to comment. The regulator is also looking into Musk's tweets about his $44 billion deal to buy Twitter, asking him last month about a post in which he said the, quote, deal couldn't move forward unless Twitter provided more data about fake accounts. The trial over Twitter's lawsuit against Musk over abandoning the takeover is set to begin in October. As if Musk's dance card wasn't full enough, the Wall Street Journal reported late Sunday that Musk had engaged in a brief affair with Nicole Shanahan, the wife of Google co-founder Sergey Brin. Musk responded, where else, on Twitter, denying the report, which cited unidentified sources, saying, quote, Sergey and I are friends and were at a party together last night. I've only seen Nicole twice in 3 years, both times with many other people around, nothing romantic.
We underscore that with the escalating violence, with these horrific atrocities that the junta has carried out, there can be no business as usual with this regime. We urge all countries to ban the sale of military equipment to Burma, to refrain from lending the regime any degree of international credibility, and we call on ASEAN to maintain its important precedent, only allowing Burmese non-political representation at regional events. We are urging all of our partners to step up that economic pressure, that political pressure on the regime in Burma. Not only is this an affront to the human rights of the Burmese people, not only is it a slap in the face to the millions of Burmese who wish to see their country back on the path to democracy, it's also a direct rebuke of the appeal that the junta heard and the world heard from the ASEAN chair, Cambodia, in this case, and other ASEAN leaders who warned the junta in no uncertain terms not to carry out these executions.